Well, just let us know when we need to make space.
Okay.
Oh, you can
Think
make
it's ready.
faces whenever you want.
Hey, baby. You ready? Here we go.
Yeah. We'll go.
Uh, all right. Welcome, everybody, to the Roast of Doug Cook. I didn't know I was playing this role until last night, so I'm going to kind of turn it over to Paige and let her just start things off. Or no, Will. Sorry, that was my bad. Will.
Okay, Will.
Either
Go.
or. All right. I'll just start with I wrote several of these jokes, not really knowing who was going to be here. So some of you will be included, some of you won't be. I apologize. Let's start with Sarah. Sarah looks like she bites the corner off of Pop-Tarts and then cleans the insides out before consuming the Pop-Tart shell. Sarah definitely looks like she owns a pair of high-top white Reebok shoes. Sarah looks like she can describe what outer space smells like. Sarah looks like she was on the research team for the Apple II. I also wrote some jokes about Randy Flippin, who's not here, but he's an old friend of my folks. My folks used to refer to Randy as the slightly less alcoholic version of Jimmy Brewy.
Oh.
I would say that Randy, at least I don't know what he looks like now, but he used to look like he owns a theme park full of freaks. Randy looks like he carves ornate spoons from black market ivory.
I wish Randy were on.
Where is Flippin?
He said he wasn't ready yet. He's coming eventually.
Okay, he's writing his jokes.
Oh, you? All right. Sorry, Will.
Go ahead. Yes, this is going to be organic, so let's just talk. But
There he
Brian
is.
Diggs-
Wait, he heard you. He's coming in. You get to tell him all over again.
I'm not doing that.
You'll have to come back to it. There's Randy. Randy! We can't hear you,
Get
baby.
your sound, baby.
Howdy doody.
Howdy
Howdy
doody.
doody.
Hey, Monkey Man.
Hey, man.
It's good to see you all. You're together.
Yeah.
After all these years, yeah.
I'm only together with me and Lisa.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
that's right.
okay. Oh, Lisa. Okay.
The light and the fan makes sort of a halo. You're very angelic.
Okay, well, let me fix that.
Okay.
That's all right.
I'll jump back in whenever we're ready.
Okay.
Sorry, Will.
I don't know. Randy's doing this thing over here. Yeah. Ooh, now we can't see him.
Get up here.
Let me sit down.
All right. Come into the light.
There I am. It's better. Let me try another light.
Cheers, Will.
There he is.
Yeah,
There
cheers,
he is.
everybody.
Okay, much better.
That better.
Yes.
Let
Very
me
good.
tilt that.
Yeah.
I just see a little me, that's all.
Yeah, right.
Well, a little me is better than no me at all. Okay. Go, Will.
On to my friend Brian Diggs. Brian's been a friend of our family since, he used to babysit my sister and I, although, I was probably like 5 or so years old. And I'm not exactly sure how much older Brian is than me, but his beard is gray. But this is a true story. This isn't even like a roast of Brian. This is just going to tell you a bit about the type of person, the type of human being he is. Brian once outlasted a Scientology auditor. They tried to recruit him, and Brian went and exhausted this poor bastard with questions to the point where they asked him to leave after the day was over. They just said,
You never got clear, Brian?
This is a cult.
No, yeah.
This is a cult that would accept literally anyone. And Brian asked enough questions that they were like, "You got to get the fuck out of here, man."
You're not gonna buy anything? Get out. That was a three-hour attempt to recruit me. But when they say, hey, this book, the Dianetics book, is $25, please buy it. I'm like, no. I'm not dropping that.
I wish I had more jokes for everyone, but again, like I said, I wasn't sure who was going to be here. So I wrote a really long story about me and my dad. And I've recently become a father myself. My daughter's 2.5 years old now. And so there's all this like dad stuff that now has become relevant to me that I just didn't really even know was happening whenever I was growing up and my dad was teaching me stuff. So I've just written some stuff down, and hopefully you'll indulge me for a second. My dad was always such a good dad that I knew I would one day myself become a father. My little girl is just about 2.5, and it's currently attempting big girl pottying for the first time, at least the beginning of it.
There's rumors that I'm a father.
And you're just attempting your potty training?
Only just. My wife and I are now very like my parents were then. My sister went potty with my mom, and I was trained by the man himself. You have the same or at least similar equipment, and it makes things much easier. Back in these days, there were these flushable battleship-shaped tchotchke things. I don't know if anybody else had these, but my cousins Pat and Nate got them for Christmas, and they were battleships. You could toss them in the toilet, and you piss on them, and you sink the battleship. It was, to entice boys into actually pissing into the toilet. Many of us have difficulty with that to this day. Pat and Nate, were very kind, and they just shared these with me, and I took a couple home. And my dad and I were never bashful, nor am I bashful now at any time about being naked. So we would just go to the toilet, whip our junk or whatever out, and then just go to the bathroom. Instruction would begin. They had a little target on them, like I said, and your object was to sort of just piss them into oblivion and sink them. But I had saved a few, like I said, and I mean, gosh, this was so long ago. I can't even recall exactly when this was, but anyway, I remember it like it was yesterday. I had been a confident piss taker for some time, but you understand, when the master is giving tips on technique, you have to have the sense to listen. The man himself, steps up to the plate and unleashes his schwanz with the confidence of a battle-tested admiral. I attempt the move with similar bravado, but I had much to learn at this time. There it was, this same penis that had fired me into existence. I had seen it many times, but something told me at this particular moment, this might be the last time that I would see my father's penis. I'm looking at the dick's looking at me. I look at my dad, back to the dick, dad, dick, dad, and then suddenly the dick is looking at me and not saying anything, just looking. So, I mean, I say to the dick, "Do you expect me to talk?" And the dick says, "No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die." And it fires a laser beam directly into the hull of the submarine below and cut it in half. I was speechless. This is something I have thought about nearly every day for years. I mean, like I said, this was a long time ago. I couldn't have been but like 21 or 22 years old. I mean, I was a late bloomer. I've always struggled with instructions. I just had to keep doing it, keep at it. Eventually I learned. Here was my funny story about Dad. Part of it's true. Of course, part of it isn't, but I hope you enjoyed it. I have some stuff written under the heading "Positive Dad Shit" that I'd like to read now, though.
So wait. I have a learning experience about parenting. Something that's very instrumental that I learned from watching Doug parent you, And this was maybe you were 12 or 13 or so when I was visiting. And it's rare that I see Doug angry. And even when I do see him angry, he's usually smiling through it. But this morning, I think it was a Saturday morning, I woke up to him screaming, and we all need this now. I mean, this was what, probably 20-something years ago. We all need this now. I woke up to Doug screaming, "Will Cook, get outside and mow the lawn now, or I'm breaking your PlayStation." We all need that nugget for dealing with kids today, because all they do is play on their PlayStation. Yeah.
Tony's not here, is he?
Who?
Tony, Anthony Isbell.
No.
No,
Was he
because I have a story that kind of concerns him as well.
Oh, no shit.
Yes. And of course, I think you'll remember, it happened to be a bachelor party.
Oh, I know what you're about to tell. Go ahead.
You know about the bachelor party?
Yes,
She
sir.
does now.
Okay. No, I know what it is. I've got it down too. But you tell it. You were there.
Well, yeah, it just so happens that we had a stag film. And I was my projector, and I set it up and everything. Everybody was pretty wasted. Doug, of course, was one of those. And we happened to stop the film on a particular frame. And Doug happened to stand between the projector and the screen, and he happened to whip something out. It kind of almost filled up the whole screen. So I think your son was kind of referring to that item. Yeah. But that was a pretty crazy night, I must say. I happened to be the only one that wasn't drinking, by the way.
That's
But everybody was pretty wasted.
You're probably smoking dope, though, Randy.
Do what? No,
You were smoking dope? No?
no, I don't think so. I could have. If somebody else was, I would have been. But I wouldn't have just gone off by myself and
Well,
possibly.
you finish your story, darling.
Anyway.
Sure.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
No,
go ahead.
No, we're jumping in.
No worries. I was just going to say some positive things about Dad before I ended, and I think that success can truly be measured accurately by how many other people you have made successful, and I don't mean that necessarily monetarily, but just crafting complete human beings. All of us have grown into entire individuals because of this man. And I think, anyone watching has probably had this connection with him. And I've seen this in my entire life. I was born in 1983, and there's not a moment of my life that I don't remember kids coming over from school and being a part of our lives, and being, with Brian and Tony Picrominos back in the day, going over to watch my sister and I all the way through until when I was in college, 2001 to 2006. And I've never seen anyone be able to excel at their jobs the way this guy does. And for him to have retired at the end of this massive career like this is both this amazing achievement, and it's also incredibly sad that there will be the next generation of kids that go through UT Martin won't get to experience their life the way that all of us have done so. My sister and I got to see my dad be a father to legions of other kids and be this wonderful person that will always pick up the phone and always be there for all of us. I think that's a humongous achievement. I can't imagine UT Martin will ever replace you. Congrats, Dad.
Well, shit, Will, you're gonna make me
Damn
cry.
it, Will.
Fuck.
The whole point of doing a roast was so we didn't have to cry.
I snuck some in there.
Damn you!
Well,
Doug's now
thank-
hidden because he's crying.
Aw.
I would like just to say that I was fired as a scene designer one time, but I left without making a scene. So.
That's why.
Are you proud of yourself for that one?
Oh.
And seriously, damn it, Will, that's the whole point of having the roast was so we didn't cry.
That was the
One
best.
job, Will. One fucking job.
I talked about his dick, you guys.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna talk about his dick, Will. Shit.
How you
For-
gonna
for-
make
for
your
Martin.
mother cry?
I'm good. I'm good. I've had 2 or 3 glasses of Shard, so
Okay.
I'm hanging on.
Cheers to you, Will.
All right, I think that has us moving on to Paige. Or
All right.
I'm sorry, one last question before I go. Why is Doug's dick such a big conversation piece?
You've seen it. You tell us.
Well, it has been larger than life, let's put it that way. I was jealous, okay, sorry.
My understanding is at that party that people all brought their dicks out and measured them against Doug's.
That wasn't not at that party.
That was a different party where the dick
That was
came
a
out.
different part, you know.
Okay. Well,
We all just stood there with our mouths open.
We were.
I bet. As he takes aim again.
That was Mickey. Mickey was at the dick measuring incident that took place in the wilds of Mississippi, and that was.
then since this conversation has scarred her for life.
Right?
Yeah.
Poor man.
That's not the only thing that scarred her for life.
And the funny thing was, we were all lined up. We were all drunk as lords, and we were all lined up for the dick measuring process. And James Graham took a picture of it.
I had that picture at one time.
Well, like years later, in the mail, I get this photo, like years later, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, what the hell is this? And it was that picture.
Well, and you had gray spray painted hair in it because it was right after show. Isn't that the one that we're talking about?
No.
Okay.
That was a different one. That was a different dick pic.
Dick pics are here.
Y'all, he is
Okay,
different.
Doug, show us. Come on.
He is different than he was in college. Let me just hear that.
Not much.
And he's loud. He's just as loud as our son. Our son is
I
loud.
am loud. My son is loud. I don't know how the hell, and he also curses a lot. I don't know how the fuck.
I'm getting into the fucking in just a minute.
All right.
Not literally.
I mean,
Next
I'm
later.
done, you guys. Next
All right,
roast.
All right.
All right, I think it's me. All right, hey everyone, I am Paige Bowes. So, Douglas J. Cook, professor, candy peddler, shit poster, designer extraordinaire. I know that we're all here to celebrate Doug, but we really have to celebrate Jennifer, Will, and Nan for not murdering him and doing the impossible. That's living with this man.
Well, not living with him much because he was never there. But go ahead.
That's the way it goes.
So I'm gonna take Leyhew to task because, well, he's a bitch. So I heard he was supposed to be the master of ceremonies, but the only thing Ryan can master is how to wave a white flag, since he lives his life as a pirate. I can't think of what could possibly be an emergency in landlocked Orlando, but I hope it's not as serious as some of his early college emergencies, which were deciding who to emulate for the entirety of the semester. We had the year of Vince Vaughn, when he decided he needed to embody all of Swingers. Then he tried to be Doug for a semester. That didn't work. Then he spent a semester glued to Ken Zimmerman's ass, which was rudely interrupted when Kevin Shell attached himself to Ken Zimmerman's ass. But he finally settled on the Barrington. Cargo shorts, long hair, mustache. We all had to get there at some point. I had no intention of majoring in theater. But on my first day of college, I was hypnotized and traumatized by Doug's impression of Dieter. It wasn't just one, though. He went all in. He danced around while exclaiming, "This is the time on Sprockets in which we dance." And then he proceeded to twist his nipples, which I'm pretty sure is only still allowed if you're a sorority girl at lip sync. I looked at one of my still best friends, stunned, and thought, why the fuck did we pay money for this? And then we went to breakfast. Speaking of paying money for things, Doug, however you got the university to pay for the 2 SETC trips we took, I'll never know, but the debauchery that happened was enough to scar everyone for life. Picture it, Mobile, spring break, 2002. We're all full-ass adults, crammed 4 deep in hotel rooms in downtown Mobile. That didn't stop Doug from playing dad and trying to check up on all of us.
Yes.
Well, pay-per-view movies were still a big ticket item in hotels in 2002, and college kids are always going to revert to the mean. As is his way, Doug popped into the room about the time the movie was getting good, bad, whatever. Anyway, a sweet ass is a sweet ass. The next day, we convinced Doug and Tim to drive us to the beach for a little time away from the conference. I'm not sure exactly how or what happened, but I turned around and there were beers and wine coolers for our return trip to Mobile. Beers I get. Wine coolers? Who the fuck buys wine coolers, Doug? And everyone who's ever been into Doug's office knows that there is candy on demand. Usually chocolate, usually the high quality stuff. I failed my grandparents in many, many ways throughout the 6 years I spent in Martin. But taking candy from an old man daily was most reflective of your personal failure to provide my suburban white ass a valid reason for an eating disorder. So, Doug had the great pleasure of not only dealing with me daily when I came to take chocolate, but he was also my advisor. And I tried to keep things interesting by trying to, minor in the arts, which apparently you still can't do with a BFA. But I regularly took more than 20 hours. Every semester he shook his head. But the thing that Doug gave me the most grief for was continually registering to be Barrington's bitch every semester. And Doug, for someone who spent the greater part of the 90s using Apple technology, I'm unsure when the fuck you got too old to do it correctly, but here we are. It's like, one day you're teaching me how to do lighting design on a fucking Macintosh computer, and now you're shit posting like a 16-year-old on Facebook. Speaking of Facebook, Douglas, good God, man. I know you're old, but how many damn Gary Larson cartoons can you post at 5 a.m.? Is this a cry for help? Blink once for yes, twice for no. Jennifer, do we need to have a relocation program for you? Will, they live in your city now. A little help here?
Way too far.
And look, I guess it's really good that none of us had to live through Doug live streaming too many classes, because we all know he's one click away from Jeffrey Tubening everyone right fucking now. And I get it, he's awkward, not just curious, but who gave him the brown acid when he was in Martin awkward? A deep dive of his Facebook pictures assures me that the drugs were plentiful at UTM in the 70s. In
And
some
later.
of the pictures, it's really hard to tell who's high or who has glass eyes. But it's always Doug with his shirt unbuttoned. Always. Speaking of the proclivity to unbutton the shirt, I'm glad that we were all able to come together and honor Bill Snyder for Doug. But should we really have pulled all of that cash to remember the man who decided that Doug needed to be shirtless on stage? Doug taught me a lot of things. Most importantly, he taught me not to burn bridges. I think he just didn't want anyone to burn down Ken's house. But I've known Doug for more than half my life. He's been my teacher, he's been my mentor, he's been my friend, he's been my inspiration. I hope your retirement is long and fulfilling, if you can get anything long and fulfilling anymore.
Yay.
That was a very proper roast.
Yes, that was good. That was excellent. I remember telling Paige as a student that someday you'll go far. It just was never far enough.
There's one of his comebacks.
That was weak as hell, though.
Thank you, Paige.
You're welcome, Dougie.
Oh man. All right, so I think that puts Brian Johnson next.
All right. Well, I am very honored to have been asked to be part of this by Sarah Haig. I teach social psychology and other psychology courses at UT Martin, and I've known Doug probably since 2001 when I came to Martin, a farm kid originally from Iowa, coming down to Tennessee and realizing very quickly that while Tennessee is different from Iowa, being in a small town and having grown up on a farm, that largely the only difference is that there's a lot more stoplights in Martin than my hometown, and that there are far more fast food places to eat at in Martin than there was in my hometown growing up.
What?
I know, Brian. Never when we were in school, but sorry, Brian.
Okay.
So I'm glad that we were able to do this. I'm sorry that we weren't able to do it in person as it was scheduled back in April, because now on a Saturday night, living in Greenfield, Tennessee, you're really interrupting sort of what I would normally do, Doug. Normally on a Saturday night, what I do for fun is drive down to the end of 445 and try to turn on to 45. That's all there is to do in Greenfield. So I'm giving up a lot for you, Doug, to be here. And to piggyback off of Paige's discussion about Doug's Facebook and social media presence, I have a PowerPoint.
Oh, dear.
I need you to make me a co-host, Sarah,
Oh, here, let me.
so I can share my PowerPoint.
All right, try that again.
Alrighty. Oh, there it is.
Through Brian's eyes.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh yeah.
So all of these, with one exception, have been taken from Doug Cook's Facebook, and most of these within the past 5 to 6 weeks. Obviously, since the world has become a Zoom, here's what it would have looked like theoretically back at the Last Supper. In talking to Sarah, this is what I imagined Doug would be like every day walking into the office or walking into a visual and theater arts
Nailed it.
meeting.
Yes.
Talking to Sarah last night, Doug didn't necessarily have identified that I was going to be one of the roasters, so I know that he is a big fan of Monty Python from just things we've talked about and what he posts. So nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition or a social psychologist to roast them. Doug is sort of famous for his underwear jokes, and he was unaware that I would be one of the people roasting him this evening. This is something that sort of works out nicely. I'm not sure if you can see this, but what Doug might be thinking during a Zoom roast, that he'd much rather be back at a department meeting just listening to people yell at each other and not get along over whatever small department issue or politics are being carried out. Doug, of course, is not only somebody who was very important to his students, but also to young faculty like me starting out that we could turn to, even though we were in two different colleges. We had people that knew Doug and connected, and I think actually for a little bit I attended Trinity Presbyterian, where Doug and Jennifer and family attended with some of the other class of 2001 Mafia that were all roughly the same age, and we hung out together because we got to know each other at the opening sort of faculty orientation. And Doug, with the great people skills, as you can see in this post, always willing to reach out and connect to people. And this is Doug's reaction after he hired Sarah Haig to be a faculty member. And if you don't believe me, I took this from Sarah's memories a few weeks ago. And we're all really kind of surprised that Sarah didn't take the time to show up in the T-Rex costume this evening. I thought that was going to be a given.
I still could.
Sarah is oftentimes a welcome sight around campus in the T-Rex costume, and I know that a lot of times the graduating students from visual and theater arts really love the fact that she dresses up in that costume for the senior walk. So that is something very reminiscent. And I did this as much for me to show that I learned a little bit from this process of figuring out how to Zoom. Now let me see, stop my share to actually get back to this. By training, as I said, I'm a social psychologist. I don't necessarily have that much of a background in the arts. I can't recall what I had to take that would have fallen into the fine arts as an undergrad, but I do remember from high school, each year we read a different play from Shakespeare, and so I'm going to bastardize one of the famous speeches from Julius Caesar in honor of Doug this evening. Friends, alumni, faculty, lend me your ear. I come to bury Doug Cook, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is oft interred with their bones. So let it be with Doug Cook. Doug is a big Detroit Tigers fan. Besides the shitposting, as Paige said, you can often understand how the Tigers are doing any given evening from about March through October by Doug's posting either late at night or early the next morning. I grew up a Kansas City Royals fan, and like Doug, as a result, since about the mid-1980s, it's been very hard to be either a Detroit Tiger fan or a Kansas City Royal fan at the same time. And I just want to remind Doug that ever since Detroit won the 1984 World Series by sweeping the Royals to get there, the Royals have actually been in more World Series and won more World Series than the Detroit Tigers. And for a couple years in 2014 and 2015, that was actually a little bit of a good rivalry now that they're both in the same division. Growing up in Iowa, I'm old enough that we had literally 3 network stations and a PBS station, and that was it. And being from a small town of 1,200 people, one of the things that, and I don't know how to explain this, that I was so excited about as a 6 or 7-year-old is when on NBC they would have the Dean Martin Celebrity Roast. Mm-hmm. Now I understand now that most of the people that were on those roasts were probably drunk beyond belief. They were reading jokes that somebody else had written for them, but that was just mesmerizing to me, just the way that they would do that. And so I've stolen some of Red Button's, who would come on and do the rant about who had never gotten a dinner as his way of making fun of the person being honored. So some of the most famous people in history have never gotten a dinner. Tom Rakes, who said to the vending machine, "Hey, you got a candy bar?" Never got a dinner. Joe Torre, who switched from first base because he didn't want to be labeled as a catcher and be called Chicken Cacciatore, never got a dinner. Donald Trump's mother, who said, "Donnie, stop playing Monopoly and get in the barber's chair," never got a dinner. And lastly, besides being a colleague of Doug's, I actually had both Will and Nan at different points in intro to psychology class. And that's probably Doug's biggest failing, that he didn't protect them from me as a teacher. That he didn't tell them to choose anybody but Brian Johnson to finish off your psychology sequence. So I've had connections to the entire family. I haven't known them as long as some of you, but thank you so much, Sarah, for allowing me to be here and be part of this evening. And congratulations, Doug, on your retirement. And I can't wait to read what you post on Facebook for about 15 minutes of stream of consciousness tomorrow and the funny things that we'll see. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Brian.
Yay.
Yeah, going back to that one about Doug Cook after he hired me. I kind of remember during my interview, we all went out to dinner at Cabana. It was a Monday night because Cabana is the only thing open in Martin on a Monday night. And Jennifer was there. I ended up sitting across from Jennifer. And she asked me how old I was. Actually, she started with, "You don't have to answer this and they can't ask you, but how old are you?"
Because you look like a child.
So I was like, well, if they like me, they're going to find out anyways. And I answered 29 and thought I had completely blown my interview when I heard Diane Shaw at the other end of the table just gasp for air. And Jennifer just very calmly said, "Oh, that's great. You're right between our son and our daughter." And it was that night I thought I was not getting a job.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. With that one, let's go to Brian Diggs. Let's just keep it with the Bryans for a minute.
Wow. Okay. Well, it's kind of hard to roast somebody who has so many positive qualities, but just banking off the Facebook thing, it is amazing how, like clockwork, those Facebook posts start at 7 a.m., which is 4 a.m. my time.
Yeah, right.
And so I have my laptop open at all times, and that is my alarm clock, is Facebook posts from Douglas popping on, and it's 3 hours earlier than I need to wake up, but it wakes me up and I'm ready to go, at least to start reading stuff. If for some reason I'm late to work, I just tell him Doug must have been sick. I don't know what happened to my alarm clock. Sorry, it didn't go off. I'm late. So I came into Martin. I mean, if you don't know my history with Martin, I grew up in D.C., but my dad's from Martin. My grandma and my grandparents lived in Martin. And I got stuck with going to school in Martin for university. Parents were paying for college. They didn't want to spend too much money for college, and they didn't want to spend money on a fine arts degree for me. And I was like, well, I might as well go to Martin. Why not? If I can't, go to a big school for fine arts, I might as well just go anywhere for cheap. So I rolled into Martin in 1984, the summer of 1984, and Doug and Jennifer were, I guess, coming back to Martin that year with, I guess it would have been 1-year-old Will in tow. And so I don't know who remembers the Where in the World is Waldo?
Yeah.
That were out back in the day. My mantra that fall when I started at ETM was, who the fuck is Doug? This is all I heard was, Doug is back, Doug is back, Doug. I'm like, who the fuck is Doug? And he's back, okay. But all of the students from like around my age who grew up in children's theater, I guess, with Doug at the high school and probably junior high school, were enamored of Doug. So that's all I heard. I sign up for theater, and that's all I hear all day long. And I'm thinking, who the fuck is that? So they had 1-year-old Will in tow, and I love kids, so Will and I quickly became buddies, and they would have me babysit Will, which pretty much is hanging out with Will. So even at the time, I was an award-winning Shakespearean actor. So I thought that I was being responsible, and I've got 2 children that I would be watching eventually once Nan was born. I should do the responsible thing and introduce them to, classic Shakespeare tragedies like Claire Danes and Romeo and Juliet, or Keanu Reeves and Much Ado About Nothing. I'm responsibly taking care of their children while they go out and do whatever they do. I don't know what they're going out to do. I'm assuming, since it's a college professor, that he's getting together with other college professors and talking philosophy and Camus and, I don't know, Shakespeare maybe. And it's like 15, 20 years later when I find out it's the debauchery that I was supposed to be getting as a 19-year-old in college. No, I'm taking care of the kids, and they're out smoking weed, skinny dipping, drinking, of course. The debauchery, Doug, that I've never witnessed, because I'm the one keeping their kids sane. But it was fun hanging out with Will and Nan. They're great people. The whole family is great people to be around. Now, the one thing that I can say, I think I said earlier that I've never really seen Doug just angry. Like, he's a really friendly guy, and even somehow when he gets mad, it's still comedy. There's some comedy. When I see it, there's some comedy in there somewhere. So, super friendly guy. Sometimes I think he's a little bit too friendly, maybe. Friends with all the students, right? I mean, it's not an authoritarian situation that we have when we're working with Doug as students. But one of my favorite Doug stories is working with him in the costume department. And whatever year that was that I was working there, we had a student there, and Doug is very nice and personable with everyone, but he's talking to one of the students, and he would say, "Okay, princess, please get this and take it across the room. Oh, princess, please do this, princess." And I was like, okay, I get that you're nice, but why are you calling her princess? Like, come on, like, I know it's the South and we got fun and all this. And he goes, well, because that's her name. What other story did I have to tell about Doug? I don't know. I mean, one thing I would say is it's just an inspiration. Where did you come from, Doug? I always think of you coming from being raised in Detroit. Where were you raised?
Yeah, Detroit.
Yeah. And so it's kind of an inspiration. So again, I lived with my grandma while I was in college, and towards the end, I was there for 4 or 5 years, and she was saying, "Oh, Brian, it's really great. You could get your master's degree here. You could get your doctorate here. You could stay for many more years." I'm like, "No, I've been here for 4 or 5 years. I'm out. It's time for me to try and make a name for myself. I cannot be stuck in Martin for more than 5 years." So when I talk about Martin to people, explain what Martin is like, and I'm shocked by your depiction of Martin, Brian, because when I was a kid growing up in DC, I used to rate the malls by how many bookstores they had. So a decent mall would have 2. A good mall, like a really great mall, would have 3 or more. a crappy mall would have one. And I get to Martin the summer of 1984, and there was one bookstore in Martin, but I was the only one buying books. So by the end of summer, the only bookstore was the campus bookstore. I tell people Martin is so small, there was no McDonald's.
Right.
Mm-mm.
When we got Pizza Hut, we were ecstatic. This is a restaurant chain we recognize, Pizza Hut, finally. It does astound me that somebody from Detroit could come to Martin and choose to be there for 35 something years. I mean, that's just teaching. But then, probably 40 plus years plus.
72. 72.
Yeah. So that is the other kind of crazy thing for me. It's a very strange relationship for me, just my relationship with Martin and with the Cooks. But because I would have started coming to Martin every summer since 64, 65. I always wonder, was I in the same grocery store with Doug or Jennifer, like passing by the aisles? Who knew before? But that's it. I'm trying to think of any other stories. Well, I mean, now Doug is retired, so I am wondering what he's going to do with his time. And I have started seeing pics of kitchen cabinets, and the kitchen is being built up.
He hasn't done the work. We contracted.
Oh, I know those are just props. Come on.
No, we contracted.
No.
He's tired.
Doug is home.
Yes.
We didn't see them before. We didn't see them until Doug retired. So you got to open them up and show that they're working, cause.
This is the new house.
What?
This is the new house. And
The old house was the one that had all the props. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Y'all all got to come, by the way. Once the Rona is over, we're all doing a big party here in Memphis. Yeah.
Great.
You guys can come to my house because I actually live in Memphis.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We tried to get close to them.
Okay.
Find a townhouse that we were trying to.
We do actually live in Memphis, though.
Yeah, it is a Memphis zip. It's just that Germantown. We're in the Germantown village, so
We're outside of the 240, which Ken Zimmerman considers anything outside of 240 not Memphis.
I'll go past East Parkway.
Okay.
Right. Will considers anything out of 38104 not Memphis.
When I was a student in school, I worked for Brian's aunt, and she was one of the great persons I've known in my life, and she taught me many things. And there was another relative that worked there too.
Maria worked for Bill.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Marianne and Maria. Yeah, it's some strange things. So.
Marianne, I'm sorry, it's Marianne.
Yeah, Marianne. Yeah, the strange connection that I heard is that my grandmother's sister worked for Bill Snyder in Chicago before Bill came to Martin.
Really?
That's what I heard.
Huh.
I don't know. That's just the story that I heard. But
anyhow, Audra was one of the great people I knew.
Yeah.
And
it's my grandmother's youngest sister. Yeah.
I always remember her.
That's all like that.
And all the Diggs family.
It's so weird to hear Brian speak about babysitting our children, because I think of Brian as one of our children. And he reminded me the other day that he's not much younger than we are. And it's interesting because he relates to us, but he also relates to Will and Nan.
Mm-hmm.
That's just his way. Sorry, this is not really.
All my friends, no. but that's cool because
riveting shit, you guys.
It's what? Are we boring you?
riveting.
Sorry.
We're old. Come on.
Roast. I'm sorry, I don't have.
But I'm saying, but that's the problem is I'm out hanging with the kids, like I'm their age, and you guys are having the fun. You guys are the ones having the debauchery I was supposed to be having.
A disclaimer here: I never smoked pot, nor did I skinny dip in those years. I did lots of drinking and dancing and kissing and stuff, but no, I did not smoke pot.
Okay. I just want to say that I really worked hard to make sure that there were no drugs left for my son.
And you were telling students that up to last year.
Yes, I know. I'm sorry, we're digging into Randy's time. Randy is my brother from another mother.
Well, and what was it about 2 years ago when I approached you with this idea? You said, please don't ask one person. And who was that one person? Yeah. I think we need to let Randy, who apparently knows too much.
Well, folks, I think I happen to be the oldest person here.
Yeah.
If you're older than Doug, yeah.
Yes, I am. And I keep looking at you guys together, and I'm thinking John and Yoko.
Got your babe.
That's right. That's right.
See, I'm old school, I guess. We were there together in the 70s. And when the 70s ended, I was gone. But during all that time, well, Doug happened to be my best man when I got married.
You were at our wedding.
Yeah, I remember being at your wedding, but he was my best man.
You were in our wedding, darling. You were in our wedding.
I was in your wedding.
Okay, stop, Will. You were in our wedding, sweetheart. Okay, go ahead.
I'm sure I was in the pictures.
Randy has the floor.
Okay.
Sorry.
Now, this would include both of you in a way, but I know we did a lot of plays together, and one in particular was Fiddler on the Roof, which we all were together, and we would go in the green room and do stretches before rehearsal and all that. And one rehearsal, we all had to do our legs back behind our heads and stretching. Well, Doug let out this big fart. And it was, oh God, we had to stop right there for quite a while, which I know I did some things that stopped rehearsals as well, but I'm not here to talk about me. I'm supposed to be talking about Doug.
That's okay.
And I think you might remember when we went to a party and we got up on the roof of a particular house.
Yeah.
And we just started peeing off the edge of the house. And I guess we were trying to see which ones would get to the end of the roof. But I don't know, did we ever hit anybody? Do you remember? I don't, you know. God,
we had great range back then, though. That was...
This is such a long time ago, Doug. I mean, it's so crazy that I haven't seen you, I guess, since Mr. Snyder's
Party.
his brain doesn't work sometimes. But let's see, what else can I remember about Doug? Oh, Jennifer, I slept with Doug before you did.
I was about to talk about sleeping with him. I slept with him longer.
Yes, you did sleep with him longer, but I slept with him before you.
What the
But
fuck?
that's about all we did was sleep.
When was that?
Just about.
Huh?
Just about all you did. Not all you did, but just about all you did.
Did you guys ever live together?
No,
In a way.
over to Randy's house and hang out there.
Well, remember we all lived in that house. Mickey was there, and
Yeah.
you had Jason
Yeah.
lived with us there, and had that
Dog.
room that was screened in.
Did you
Thank
meet
you.
on Oxford Street too? On Oxford Street?
I lived over on Elm Street too with Jason,
Yeah.
Tony, and Mickey, and Randy was over on Murphy Drive.
Yeah, up on the hill. That's where I had my own little apartment. That's where you came over one night when we got so drunk we couldn't do anything but just go to bed. You were on one side. No, there was a girl. What was her name?
She was in the middle.
Yeah, right.
No, no. She just told me that Doug ruined her. Let's put it that way. Can't remember her name. She liked to ride horses. She had a-
Sherry Nethercott.
Sherry, yeah, Sherry.
I
She
hated
said
that
Doug.
Jennifer.
What?
She liked to ride, and apparently,
Oh, she
More than
was,
very
horses.
close to.
but that-
Yeah.
she was a hoe. I think she
Mhm.
took on everybody on the rodeo team. I'm not sure.
Yeah, the baloney pony.
Yeah.
Welcome, Sherry, if you're watching.
We haven't had contact with Sherry for years.
Yeah.
Oh God, Randy, do you remember my going over to your house and you tried to introduce me to Pink Floyd, and I was not a Pink Floyd kind of gal, and you cooked Cornish hens and they were raw. I don't know if you remember that or not, but it was like not one of the best evenings of my life. I'm sorry, I love you, but that whole Pink Floyd experience was not.
Well, I can cook a little better now.
You should have smoked weed, Jennifer. It would have been way better.
No,
See?
weed made me paranoid. I tried it, but it just wasn't me. It's like Will. Will's not into weed or anything like that. He
Well,
takes after his mother.
I remember a few nights, Pink Floyd and hash over at Randy's, and
I hope nobody ever sees this who is like an official person or something.
Too late now.
Just like, we're going
and
to fire.
or
Who the fuck cares? Yeah.
and or Ted Nugent.
yeah, that was
Remember we did that play that
before we found out he was an
Tony.
asshole.
directed, and he wanted us to do this kind of an improvised scene with what was the name of that band? Anyway, it was kind of mellow, and we
With
just
the Amboy Dude.
Yeah, well, no, the other one. He wanted us to see. This is what's going to happen to all of you once you get my age. I promise you.
Oh, Doug and I together have one brain.
Barely.
I haven't had anything to drink in I don't know how long. It's crazy. I just
Well,
don't
Ted
drink.
was one of my homeboys. He was from my neighborhood, and so I
Bob Seger and all those people from
had several people from my neighborhood. Alice Cooper.
Oh God, Alice Cooper. I was in a band in high school where we did Alice Cooper songs,
Right.
and we went to a place in Arkansas, and the guys that were in the band, and it was I was standing at a pinball machine, and some guy came and put his arms around my waist from behind, and I had hair down here back then, and this was high school, but he freaked out when I turned around. But well, Doug, I tell you, I love you more than anything. You were a brother to me, you really were, and I really miss. Where in Memphis are you? Because I might be coming to Memphis, and I want to disturb you.
Not far from your old neighborhood,
In
Randy.
Germantown?
Yeah.
Well, you know, I never actually lived there.
Apparently, Will
Mr.
says they don't either.
Yeah, it's all
Your
fake.
Your mom lived there,
Yeah,
right?
my mom lived there, and Jean.
And Jane.
But I lived in, you know where Highland Street is? Is that
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
Highland Strip? I used to go there when I was wild and crazy guy.
We were on the strip a lot when Doug was in grad school.
Yeah.
We stripped on the strip.
Well, we're not far from where yours and Mickey's house was.
Yeah, Mickey did live right around the street from us.
Yeah.
Germantown's weird. It goes in this square. I mean, if you look parallel to us on Poplar, that's Germantown.
Yeah.
But on Poplar Pike, where we are, which is Park, it's not Germantown. It's still Memphis. But like right over the hill, we're going to Germantown. But that's boring. We'll get back to
Everybody live streaming this, they'll give you their address in a second.
Yeah. If you could include some credit card numbers, I'd appreciate it.
Well,
What?
Doug, do you remember when we went to Crystal's
Yeah.
and we had a kind of a contest who could eat the most Crystal burgers?
if Doug he could stuff Twinkies in that mouth
Oh
more
my
than anybody
God.
at the university.
Yeah. We call them rat burgers. I don't know why. But we do.
Many crystals in town anymore.
They don't have them anymore?
Not many. There's a few.
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's one on Poplar. I think that's where we went to eat them. So that's the only one there, probably. So it's my time to die. But I happen, I don't know, none of you, I don't know any of you other people, and I'm sorry I don't, but I live in Dallas, Texas, which I would love to move real bad. It's really getting to me.
Hey, Doug, your head's disappearing. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's okay. I've met a lot of interesting people. I got to be friends actually with Lou Diamond Phillips when I worked for a festival, Deep Ellum Film Festival, and he was there, and we went and sang at a bar down in Deep Ellum, which was kind of fun. We just got up on stage and just sang some song. I don't remember, but this was in the late 90s, probably 99. And who else have I dealt with? Well, the Turtle singer, Howard Kalin. And we became friends when I met him. So, but enough about me. God.
All right. Well, you used to have a photographic memory, Randy, but
My camera broke a long time ago.
it never developed.
No, it never did.
Nice.
I just pulled the film out of the camera and tossed it away.
It's you and Ken Zimmerman just kind of doing the same thing.
Douglas.
Kara.
He's helping out this semester. His memory's not what it used to be.
I can remember. I can remember older stuff better than I can 5 minutes ago.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Ken asks me for his password every single morning when I walk by his office. Hey,
Are you serious?
I don't know what his password is. I never have. I just have him keep calling the help desk.
Bless. He invited us to his house when we went over there for the dedication. Ken, I hope you're seeing this. And then the day before we went, he uninvited us. He said his cleaning lady hadn't been there forever. And I said, you fucker, man, you're uninviting us, you shit. But actually, I was really glad because I don't sleep well anywhere but my house. So I was kidding.
Every
There, I hope
morning
you
when
love- I'm sorry,
Sorry.
Renee.
I was gonna say every morning when I get up, I see Doug's post. I go, why is he getting up before me?
He always does.
I get up between 3:30 and 4 every morning. And I don't know why. I mean, I could sleep till at least probably 5 to get to go to work, because I have to be at work at 6. So there's no reason except to get up and take a shower, and that'd be it. But I get up and I get on here on this fucking computer and do whatever, turn on my phone, there's Doug's post, there's pictures, and that's one of my favorite things is seeing your pictures, the things you post, cartoons and stuff. It makes my day, it makes me keep going.
This is the sound of your brain on old. You're gonna get there in a couple of decades. Just need 20 more years, but yes.
That's all we have. That's all we have, Brian.
I get up in the morning, my brain is racing, and I have to do something.
And I have to tell him, when I get up at about 10 o'clock, I have to say,
10 o'clock? Is that what you said?
yeah, I stay up at 4 o'clock. I was up to 4 this morning reading, and I have to say, honey, don't talk to me right now. You've been up for hours. I cannot deal with your talking to me right now, because he's insane. He gets up at the same time every morning, and it's long before I want to get up. But anyway, that'll lead into whatever I have to say whenever I have to say.
Oh,
Well,
Jennifer, what do
he
you
makes
have
sure
to
that
say?
the rest of us are up too. So you're the only one that gets to sleep.
Turn on
Yeah.
your fucking notifications.
So Jennifer, what do you have to say over there?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll have to look at my notes, okay. But talking about sleep, Douglas can sleep anywhere, anytime. And he's kind of weird with sleep sometimes. Like, if you wake him up, when he's really sound asleep, like sometimes I'll say, honey, I'm going to bed. He goes to sleep, honestly, at about 8 o'clock in the evening. He'll get up at 5 or 6. It's really 30 minutes, around 6 o'clock in the morning. And, he does his coffee, breakfast, gets on the computer and so forth. But from 8 o'clock on, if I wake him up, this is the look I get. And he looks like he's hearing something, but he doesn't hear what you're saying. But what I was going to say about sleep is, I am pretty sure I have slept with him more than any of you have. So I'll tell you a couple of things about his sleep. When we first were married, Will and Ann don't listen to this, but this is before we married. Okay. We lived together, and we had both, we didn't have TVs and stuff. We listened to the radio a lot, and we read a lot. And so we had both read Stephen King's short story, Jerusalem's Lot. Not Salem's Lot, but Jerusalem's Lot. So I wake up one night to Douglas kicking me out of the bed. And I wake him up, and he was dreaming that vampires were coming up onto a raft around him. And so he was kicking them off, so he kicks me off of the bed. And from then on, I didn't let him have his baseball bat beside the bed, because I was totally afraid that he was going to kill me.
It's in the closet.
This is totally fine. You should have listened to it. Well, it's fine.
I
She
can
just
hear
didn't want you to know that they lived in sin. But
Yeah, it really was okay. Oh shit, where are my notes? God
That's
damn it.
the only way to live.
Oh.
Older Jennifer is my favorite Jennifer.
He, like I said, he goes anywhere. He's out. I show Jerusalem's Lot. The best thing, and Will and Nan were witness to this. Will and Nan and I sometimes would stand right beside him and yell at the top of our lungs for him to wake up, and he wouldn't wake up. It's amazing. It's amazing this deep sleep this man can go into. I mean, he's alert when he's alert, but it's got to be between like 5 a.m. and 8 p.m.
yeah,
But there was this one time we woke up, or he woke up, and he was trying to change the television station, and he couldn't figure it out. But it's because he had the cordless phone. He had the cordless phone, and he was trying to change the television station with the cordless phone. And the other thing, and there are so many things that I could talk about, but is Doug's prodigious, prolific use of the word fuck. He is a distinguished professor, but maybe he's distinguished because he can use fuck with such versatility. And one of the first times I remember it was we always came back to UTM for summer theater after we had graduated and married. We made money during the year. We came back to UT Martin and did summer theater and lost all our money. We spent all our money. And there were some times that Bill floated us along, or not alone. He just gave us money. But anyway, I got pregnant with Will. Will was born 4 years after we married, almost 4 years. And we had just done Ernest in Love. So I didn't go to the cast party for very long. What I understood later was that Douglas and Jimmy Brewy got into a contest in this, it was like this, you know what I'm talking about? It was like in this wrestling ring in whose house I can't even remember, but they took their shirts off and they pulled their shorts up to their underwear and they pretended they were sumo wrestlers. And anyway, somebody brought Doug home. We were staying at Tim's house. We stayed at Tim's house that summer. All Douglas could say was, fucking A, fucking A, hey, man. And they dropped him in the middle of our bed. I was already having such morning sickness, being pregnant with Will. Here's Doug. They dropped him. You know, I'm 5'3", and at that time I was Johnny brought him home, about 105 pounds. Here's Douglas, 6'4", and he wasn't heavy then, like maybe 190 or whatever. Dropped him in the middle of the bed. Here I am, sick as a fucking dog. He had all over him. I was trying to move him. He's yelling, fucking A, fucking A. But then, you know, his use of fuck goes beyond that. And as I said, I think that distinguishes him as a professor because he's told me that, you know, when he was in the booth, sometimes there would be kids in the green room and he would say, get the fuck on stage. Get your ass the fuck on stage. And then, Paige, do you remember anything like that where he would say, get the fuck on stage when people would remember?
I mean, I had a habit of doing all of my stretching and pre-work up top.
Yeah.
Not lined.
Yeah.
And I would hear, where the fuck is Lehue? Or where the fuck is Lucas? And I'm like, I don't know. I need to get where the fuck is Lucas? I don't know.
Well, fuck is one of his favorite
I would
words.
say that a lot.
And he has these variations on fuck. Like, nobody else uses the word fuck jaw except Douglas. And now I've adopted the word fuck jaw. It's one of the best words in the world. But when Doug and I were just dating, we went to Union City to the theater, Brian, that is now the theater for Union City.
Oh, the Capitol.
The Capitol. Okay, we went to the Capitol Theater. We're still showing movies, and we saw The China Syndrome.
Oh.
What's the name of it, honey?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyway, so at the end of it, you know, when the SWAT team comes in, Douglas stands up. I should have known right then I should not marry this man. He stands up in the middle of the Capitol Theater, live and in person.
And whipped out his dick.
Huh? Whipped out his dick. No, he yells at the theater, fucking cops! Fucking cops! He's standing up in public, yelling at...
They were shooting Jack Lemmon. What the fuck?
I can see it.
Exactly.
Was this when I was there?
Yeah, you were there.
Because I was there. I remember this as well.
Well, anyway, I think that's all I have. But honey,
Should have gone to Fox to get some more beer.
Fox, and go to
I
the.
want to go to Fox. Let's get some beer.
Oh, we're gonna go to Fox Junior. We're gonna go to Fox Junior.
Some of you younger kids who have no idea about the cast parties that
Oh,
we
God.
had and attended. You know, we found Doug's cartoons from the Pacer, and it's amazing the things he got away with. You know, people smoking joints in these cartoons and stuff like that. The 70s were a totally different period, weren't they, Randy? I mean, we'd go to class and cut off jeans and no shoes, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember going in a bikini top, and you know. Anyway, those were the days.
They just wear a backpack. It's the only difference. That's it.
Well, we had a party.
People were thin then, also.
People were what?
When I was
Thin.
Thin.
Yeah.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug, Will. Cocaine.
You know, my wife always accuses me of not listening to her.
He doesn't fucking listen
I-
to me.
I don't know whatever she said. I don't know what the fuck she said.
Motherfucker. All right, here you go, motherfucker.
I wish I had middle fingers for all of you. I just.
Come on, everybody. We need a bird out there. Bird.
Oh, mine's not showing
There
up.
we go. Double birdie.
I'm the Bud Adams of this shit.
You know, when I married Jennifer, I was hoping to have a battle of wits throughout our married life, but she came unarmed, and it was a great.
You're fucking Bard.
So, Doug, when did you start losing your hair?
Like 5 years ago.
It was just happened, and I remember the barber saying to me, something's going on there. And I don't know what. Something's going on there.
He doesn't worry about it. I love him anyway. I mean,
Yeah.
fat, and he's you know,
Ken.
his dad used to say, Douglas, grow it out and just, comb this side over. His dad's solution was to comb over.
But yeah, something genetically kicked in, and then it was all over. And Zimmerman one time came up to me and like looked at me from about 1 inch away and said, "You're going, oh." Like, okay,
I
Thank
will
you.
say, when you hired me, you had hair.
Yeah.
I did. I know.
I'm
So-
Testosterone
anyway.
finally kicked in.
I'm waiting for the next thing to fall off.
It's got to be the dick. It has to be the dick that falls off. I mean, we've talked about it.
You know, there is a song called
Detachable penis.
yes, that's Detachable Penis.
If
And
I
you
ever
can
see
lose
Doug
it.
bartering for his own dick back in a park,
I'm sure, Sarah, you didn't mean for this to turn into a dick pic.
I
It's a
really
roast.
had no idea. It's a
It
roast,
is a
and
roast.
it's Doug.
Okay.
So we'll
We
have to
are
roast
not
your dick.
too far removed from Doug showing his dick.
Please,
so
no,
let's
no,
just remember
no,
that. You
No,
can
but
drink
I think it is time to turn it over to Doug.
I
And let
tried
him get
to not
revenge.
say fuck in class,
He did, though. He did.
but
He said fucking class a lot. Maybe not the theater 1 or the theater 2 classes, like the
I
100
said I
100
tried.
classes.
I tried. And sometimes, nothing will like make a classroom really quiet. Like if the professor yelling out, "Shut the fuck up!" They get really quiet after.
Too
Yeah.
quiet.
Michael Abney was in a class where that took place, but I don't think he was the reason. I also had
It was Claudia's dance class. I was in there too. You were not the professor of that class. You were there in lieu of Claudia. She was sick that day, and you told a bunch of dance majors to shut the fuck up.
Jimmy Dan wasn't there, was he?
no Jimmy Dan.
Jimmy Dan.
Jimmy
There
Dan
were
Gray?
dance majors that did need to shut the fuck up.
And God knows what. Who said? And God knows what all night. No, that wasn't Jimmy Dan.
That was a girl. Didn't it?
Stop him. Has he a tail, Captain?
Context is needed, Randy. Run
I know, see, they
Oh,
don't.
by the way, that house that used to live in Randy over there on Poplar Street, Alicia Field and her mother lives there now.
Really?
Remember that?
Alicia, Brian, also kept our children alive.
Yeah.
Although
Right.
she's only 10 years younger than,
Yeah, it's the
are
same.
you 10 years younger than
Yeah, 10 years younger than Doug. Yep.
Okay, here's something else we want to tell you. We have a sketch of Master Harold. We need to send it. Are you interested in it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Okay.
We've been trying to hang everything. We don't have room.
Ha ha ha.
I love that play, but we thought you might want to hear it.
So
That's my favorite play of all time. I think it's one of the best written plays of all time.
It's fantastic. You were fantastic. But anyway,
Thank you.
this is about Doug. How fantastic he is. He's the best husband. I'm sure the best professor, the best boss. He's beloved across campus. Nobody like him, and there's nobody like him. They like him, but there's nobody like him. And I honestly don't deserve him.
When I was there.
But he bitched me out this afternoon, and I bitched him out too. And we said a lot of fuck yous, but we always have. He's put up with my shit for all these years.
Does he still shave his legs?
He doesn't have
I
to.
had to.
He never had to, Randy.
I am hairless. I
He-
have.
Well,
What is that
every
thing
other
on radio?
Indian is.
We prayed for our daughter not to have hairy legs, and she doesn't. We'll get the hair from my side.
Mm.
That's okay for a man, but for Nan Ellen, she has hardly any hair on her legs. She has a huge, thick head of hair, like Will, as you can see. But
I could do without the hair around my asshole, though.
Go to Brazil.
He used to have
yeah,
big fluffy.
Doug had hair. He had hair.
Yeah.
He had long hair. So, anywho, Sarah, you're great to put this together.
yeah, Doug, do you want to get revenge on anybody?
Do I want to get revenge on anybody?
Yep.
I love my son. He did fail math many times, too many times to count. I mean, literally. So that was. And let me see if I have another
passed
comeback.
He passed it eventually.
It's
My senior year.
a joke. It's true. Actually, I failed math 3 times before I passed it.
See, it runs in the family.
Math multiple times. It's a
really
theater
can't
thing.
talk.
Wait, this is just it's just math? Like what kind of math?
Well,
I don't
what
have
do they call
anything
it?
else.
College
I
algebra
don't have
for
anything
you?
else I want
Okay.
to do here.
I
Although,
just stopped
I
going.
remember when I first met Jennifer. I tried that line out on her about hey baby, what's your sign? I wanted to know, hey baby, what's your sign? And she told me, trespassers will be shot on sight.
Plus, I asked you to marry me. Don't you think we got married? We were
Yeah.
23 years old, and he was 24. We were babies. Babies.
Mhm.
All right.
But it's worked out.
Yes, it has. Absolutely.
Despite a few hiccups.
Well, I think I need to tell the last story of the night, and it was the one I told Doug I would never let his wife know about.
Oh boy.
Fucking my husband, Sarah.
Oh no, definitely not. And it was really just because he got mad at you for doing this so many times. But there was a Saturday morning in the last 2 years that I was sitting at home doing my Saturday morning thing, which is really just staring at the wall because I can. And my phone starts ringing, and it's Doug, who just, I answer it, and it's like, I've got caller ID. Hey, Doug, what's up? By the way, I'm not awake yet. And he just sheepishly goes, do you still have the key for when we need you to watch the dog? And I said, well, yeah, Doug, did you lock yourself out of the house? And he continues to be really sheepish about it. And like, yes, I did. Do you need me to come unlock your door for you? Yes, I kind of do. And so I said, all right, let me find some shoes and I'll come over. And as I'm driving down the street, there's Doug leaning on his truck, waiting for me to show up with the key, as 2 Jehovah's Witnesses show up on bicycles.
Oh, God.
And he managed to chase them off because I had just shown up at his house with the key. And he was like, wait, you have to come inside. Like, I just told them we have a meeting. You have to come inside. So come, like, visit the dog or something. You have to come inside so they don't come back. And Doug, you still owe me for that. For saving you. Not once, but twice. You still owe me.
It's absolutely true. My thing is, why do Mormons and Jehovah's Witnesses only come to neighborhoods where most everybody already goes to a church? You know, I think you would want to go to some sort of godless area of town.
Like my
I just
neighborhood.
think it would be so much easier to sort of recruit if you went somewhere where people weren't already committed or whatever. Like you know, Mitt Romney going to Paris, France, or whatever. You know, I just don't ever understand.
I love Paris.
No idea. I just know I was not allowed to tell your wife. I could tell everybody else, but now I've told your wife too that you did too lock yourself out of the house after getting so mad at her because you would have to leave work to go let her into the house.
Motherfucker. One day we were out on the deck, and I used to go out on the deck every morning, and he has this fucking habit of locking the door every time he goes into the house. And we were out there one summer. I'm on the deck because I used to go out on the deck every summer when I was teaching. I spent the morning out there until it got too hot. So he goes off somewhere, probably to the theater where he lived. And I get ready to go.
Randomly go off.
I get ready to go into the house, and of course, I can't get into the back door off of the deck because Douglas has locked the door, as I knew he had. So I go around to the kitchen door, knowing that Douglas has also locked the kitchen door. Okay, is this the same story? I can't remember. At any rate, there was one story where he had to. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm listening. I've had a lot of wine. He had to knock down the front door because we had gotten locked out. So that's how we came about having a new door. But I don't think that was the time. At any rate, I was very pissed at him for locking the door. He's just a creature of habit, and he does everything very organized, Sarah, as you know. Everything is organized. Everything is in order. You know,
I think Brian has.
But no, I was just gonna say, Sarah thought that the key that she had was for when she watches the dog, but that's not what it was really for. That's just the excuse for it.
It was just to let them back into the house all the time.
It's like 3-dimensional chess. I have it all worked out.
I can't remember why we knocked the door down. Tried to get in the window.
I knocked the door down one time because Will turned on the bath water, or the bath water was turned on, and he was in the bathroom and then locked the bathroom door, and Christy wins.
No, he was
Jesus
outside
Christ,
the
you guys can't keep a fucking story straight. I knocked down the bathroom door when Nan locked it with my own shoulder. I broke the back door when I locked myself out of the house, and I had got my finger cut.
Yeah.
That I remember.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
this one,
Neither of those times were either of you there.
No.
The one time Christy Wentz was there is when I broke down the bathroom.
No, here's another time. I was pregnant with Nan, had the bathwater running. You came out of the bathroom, but locked the bathroom door. I had to call your dad, and he had to cut off the water at the street. And we got in there, and the bathtub was full. You don't remember this one. You were like 3 years old. Nan was now 4. So you don't remember that one. That was another one. We're boring everybody.
No, I'm wondering that. No, it's fascinating. How many doors did you
I
bust
have broken down many doors. She has so much trouble with doors. It's unbelievable. As an actress, she's never closed a door for real anytime. It is just sort of pulled to, and that's good enough.
It's true.
She moves on. She never shuts a fucking door.
It's true. Even car doors. Yeah.
Car doors, everything door, no door is actually pulled to. I don't know why I bother. I go through all sorts of details with doors, making sure they latch properly
But he's
on
the fucker
stage.
who locks us out. He's the fucker who locked me out that day.
I am a creature of habit. I do like doors.
Well, I adore it.
Thank you, Randy.
Oh,
Jennifer, you know what's on TCN tonight?
No.
What's on
The
TC?
White Cliffs of Dover.
There'll be bluebirds over the white cliffs of Dover. That's the most fun play, and I have to tell you this. This is one other thing I wanted to tell about Douglas and about Randy too. Randy was the German, and see how they run. And so, was it in the dress or was it in the first performance? We never got through those rehearsals without cracking up. We never got through them.
Performance went fine.
And so Randy, at one point, I don't remember the scene, but he says, "I've got you covered with this receiver." He meant revolver, receiver.
Oh.
And then Douglas,
That's because I had a phone in my hand, I think.
Right.
I know,
Well,
it's
right.
receiver, yes.
a receiver. And then Douglas at one point was supposed to be saying a blazing inferno.
There was
But
a
it's-
line from
Dante.
no, from the what you call it play the
All
I'm
right.
not alone in this.
anyway, I was supposed to say my love for you is like a burning
No,
it's like a blazing inferno.
But instead he said a burning inflazo.
I said it with deep conviction. My love for you is like a burning
Burning
inflazo.
Oh God, oh God. Memories. He's the best though. I mean, Sarah, you know it.
oh, he is.
Brian, Randy, William.
Well, I have to say, we had some of the best plays for summer stock that
Oh,
you could
geez.
imagine. I
They got
love doing the summer plays, and we
in 1 or 2 weeks.
I know every 2 weeks we'd do another play, it seemed like, and we did Carousel. Remember, we did Carousel at Paris Landing.
Remember the story? Go ahead.
And there was a small door
Mm-hmm.
that you had to come onto the stage, and Doug came through. Well, he didn't make it through the door. He hit his head.
He was the principal dancer.
Yeah.
He and Cynthia Deander were the principal dancer. Doug's a dancer, you guys.
Oh yes,
He's 6'4" and he's a dancer, but he did a great job in that.
but he hit his head on the top of that door and fell back.
And then he went off stage and passed out on the sand.
Yes.
He made it through that dance and then passed out on the sand.
Yeah.
It was amazing. It was amazing.
I assume this is why every door Doug made on stage was like 22 feet tall. So no one hit the fucking head.
The fear of hitting my head. I still hit my head. I hit my head a lot.
Because you're a giant.
Mm,
It's true.
Yeah.
That is true. I do hit my head a lot.
He's the best. You guys, he's getting knee surgery, getting his knee replaced on Thursday.
oh my God.
Happy retirement, Doug.
Total knee replacement. And he'll be able to have a straight knee and walk it.
Mhm.
And after a little rehab and
Mm.
surgery and stuff
I'm
like
doing
that.
it so that Melanie Hollis won't make fun of me anymore.
It wasn't just Melanie Hollis, Doug.
Bitch!
Y'all be nice to Mel. She's put up with a hell of a lot from all of you assholes for a long time.
It's true.
Hey,
It's very true.
I always wanted to grab her hair, though, and pull it back.
That great thick hair. Oh my God, I'm so jealous.
It is true.
Exactly.
All right. Well, thank you all. I appreciate everything you've said, and I will try to sort of live up to my new mantra, which is be happy and don't worry about it. So
He flourishes where he's planted. Yeah.
I don't either.
Don't worry, be happy. We got it.
That's right.
You know where we live. We're not telling it on YouTube.
You don't want to tell me.
They'll tell you after.
I
Hey,
might have to come live there if things keep.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Well, you're welcome to visit, Randy.
Thanks a lot.
well, thank you everybody for just roasting Doug. I know it's not the party that he deserves, because let's face it, Doug deserves one hell of a party. But thank you for coming out tonight and having some fun. And now I'm going to end the live stream because the Zoom meeting's got 3 more minutes before it shuts itself down.
Yeah, right. All right, thank you. Will Cook, be careful getting out of your office late at night.